George the Bull is depleted as...
Cook it,
man. George the Bull is depleted as...
Cook it down.
Coach Greg, and today I'm going to be reviewing a video by Muscle and Strength on George the Bull Peterson. I watched this video this morning and it was very inspirational and motivating. One of my favorite bodybuilders who used to be a classic physique competitor. George recently won the Tampa Bay Pro 212 bodybuilding competition, his first competition as a 212 competitor after retiring from classic physique, where he had basically done all he can do and was just so freaking big, but limited by the weight class. So let's see how he's doing now.
Oh, it's 100% worth it. It's 100% worth it.
So is bodybuilding worth it? I mean, you're dieting 3-4 months and you're on stage for what? 15 minutes? Is it worth it? All that work for 15 minutes? Hell yes, of course it's worth it. What you do on that stage in 15 minutes, you will remember for the rest of your life.
The impact that you can leave on that stage can last forever.
Think of the Olympics. People go run up and they do a backflip on a freaking horse and they flip and it takes about 5 seconds and they could win a gold medal and remember it forever. Of course it's worth it. If it wasn't worth it, he wouldn't do it. He's dieting hard. He goes to train hurting sometimes. He's sore. He's suffering, but it's worth it. It's worth it. People who bodybuild, they do it because it's worth it. If you do other sports, triathlons, Ironman competitions, climbing Mount Everest, you'll know what it's like. If you suffer immensely, you know what I'm talking about and you can appreciate what he's gone through to achieve the level of success that he's achieved.
I feel like the bodybuilding lifestyle gives structure and a sense of discipline that a lot of people in general society don't have.
So bodybuilding takes a lot of discipline. It's not for everyone. If you're the kind of person that likes structure, that likes discipline, that likes doing the same thing over and over again, it's likely going to be something you'll get into. If you don't, if you can't handle it, then just stay out of it. It's not for you. You can still go to the gym, train, build muscle, eat healthy, but you don't need to actually compete. And watching this video, I noticed he's not living in some multi-million-dollar house. He's just doing it because he's passionate about it. So he's in the last week before his show. Every calorie counts.
I think 6 days officially right now.
I've done 59 competitions. I know exactly what's going on here. Trust me, you don't want to follow a diet like George is doing unless you're trying to get to that level of success. This is not a realistic way to live for most people. He hasn't missed a meal in 4 years. Most of you can't go 4 days, let alone 4 years without missing a meal. This is a guy who is extremely motivated to be the best. Extreme. More extreme than Coach Greg. I couldn't do what he's doing. I couldn't. So I'm impressed by this guy. This is friggin' amazing.
So the 2020 Tampa Pro is right around the corner. I'm right on track as far as prep is concerned. Getting leaner day by day. It's very exciting.
So he looked his all-time best at the Olympia. He had to weigh in at 192 pounds. He had nowhere else to go. So he finally switched categories. Smart move for him. He's now weighing 210. And I mean 210 ripped to friggin' shreds pounds. He's peeled, he looks insane. So he's put on additional muscle because before he had to actually drop muscle to make that weight class. So he's pumped. He can't wait to do the show because he's gonna look better. He's gonna look better than ever. He's gonna look better than last time. It's all about improvement. Bodybuilding is about being the best you that you can be. And George knows. I didn't give my best. I was the best classic physique competitor I could be. Now I'm going to bodybuild. I'm going to get bigger and more ripped than friggin' last time, and I'm going to see if I can win against guys I've never competed against before. The dude's eating egg whites and spinach. He's 6 days out. He's carb depleted. I do the same friggin' thing. Might not be with egg whites and spinach, might be chicken, might be fish, but it's boring and it sucks. And I've done that 59 times. Carb deplete before you carb load. You suffer before you get to enjoy all that delicious food, all those carbs. Fill the muscles back up. So what he's doing, he's depleting. He's gonna feel like garbage, miserable.
Do you want to train right now?
Be honest.
Nope, of course he doesn't. Do you know how hard it is to train when you're in peak week? You feel like you're in misery. It's hard to function. You're lucky you can even think. Hard to stand up straight sometimes.
Honestly, no. I mean, I'd much rather, you know, stay home and, you know, kind of lay down and chill. But got to do it. Got to do it.
1 week, bro.
1 week.
He's going to his coach, Justin Miller's house to go train. Think of it, he's doing this during the pandemic. Gyms are closed. He's living in New York. Gyms are closed. He found a way. He found a way because he loved it that much that he can do it. He doesn't have a fancy gym. He has a little shitty little gym in a house, and he's doing the best he can, old school equipment. What's your excuse? You don't need to do what George is doing. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you can lift weights and lose weight. You can eat healthy and train harder than last time. You don't got a gym? Don't matter. Do the best that you can do with what you have. Just try. Do something. Do something. I mean, you gotta admire these people. It's hard enough to diet and compete when everything's going normally. When you're training at the best gyms in the world. This guy's training with equipment from the 1970s in his coach's house. I couldn't do that. Do you know how hard it is to motivate yourself to train with not so good equipment in a calorie deficit? This is incredible to me. And trust me, I have a lot of willpower and dedication. Just imagine, he didn't even know if the show would take place.
And you know, and the one thing that's been uncertain since the whole, you know, like pandemic and everything, as well as whether the show was going to happen or not.
Didn't know. I hope the show's there. They might cancel it at any minute. The whole pandemic, you don't know. And what happens if they do? I just roll with the punches.
That's what life is about. It's about adapting. And that was one of Bruce Lee's philosophy, adaptation, adapting to situations.
I'm not gonna get it to me. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep driving. Let that kind of motivation sink in whatever you're doing. Might be your job, work, family, relationship, whatever. Just keep moving forward.
George is a different breed in terms of his mental focus. So even though he's super deprived, I diet him harder than I diet most people because his muscles stay round and full. Even when he's super depleted, George is a rock mentally.
Actually, he's a rock physically. He's not the rock. He's literally a rock. Are you watching this guy? There's no fat on his body. He's 4% body fat. He looks ridiculous. Not everyone can do this. I do have a cookbook. You can still diet, not to this level. You can't look like this. Well, 1 in a million of you, maybe. No, probably not 1 in a million. 1 in 100 million of you, maybe you can look like this. The freaks, maybe. The cookbooks for 99.9% of the population, yeah, you're not gonna worry about looking like this. But you can come halfway there, maybe. Even a quarter of the way there is good enough. You can eat delicious foods and diet and lose weight. And I have a training book. The training book gives you the perfect programs, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Not for George the Bull, he's beyond that. But for you, the normal human being, you can pick the workout that you want. 60 minutes, 90 minutes, twice a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. It doesn't friggin' matter.
It doesn't matter!
And obviously you're gonna keep watching my videos because there's a direct correlation between the number of videos you watch by Coach Greg and decrease in body fat, increase in muscle mass. Proven by science, meta-analysis, Baby Nikki and Gert, you should be aware by this by now. They've proven it.
There's no complaining, there's no, I don't have to worry if he's doing the right thing when he's not with me. You know, George is, he follows orders. He's an amazing soldier.
I'd almost categorize him as a machine. I don't even know if a soldier can follow orders like this. He's probably a machine. Maybe he's not from Earth. Maybe he's Cyborg from Terminator.
Put that cookie down! No! No!
Maybe he's like Kawhi Leonard. Are you friends with Kawhi Leonard? Are you in fact the Terminator, George the Bull? I'm on to you. I'm watching.
What's the reason why I'm putting myself through this? For greatness.
For greatness. Why should you do it? Well, it might be for greatness, but more importantly, it's for your health. So you can live longer, healthier, and be happier. If not just for you, for the people around you. If not for the people around you, the animals. for something. There's gotta be someone somewhere out there that you're willing to live for. And I'm watching his mom and his sister, and all I can think of is, I wonder what the sister would look like if she weightlifted harder than last time and dieted. Because you gotta think, this guy's got supreme genetics. What could the sister do if she did the same thing as the brother? What would she become? I'm curious. I always like to know these things. I'm like, come on, the genetics aren't that far apart. You could do it too. But if it's not your passion, of course you don't need to. But I'm just curious about that.
Whatever he set his mind to, he was going to be successful at it. That's always been George.
I mean, he hasn't missed a meal in 4 years. If you can do that, you can be successful at anything. Not just bodybuilding. Think of what you could do in school, at a job, at anything. If you're that willing to work harder than last time, you can do anything you want. It transfers to different things. If you're a bodybuilder and you put that same level of dedication towards your job, think of what you can become in the workforce. If you study harder for 4 years, you can learn anything. You could be whatever you want. Just keep studying, keep trying harder, and you can get there. And one of the things he talks about is showing the trophy when you get home when you win. And look, it's not about how the trophy looks, how much pretty the trophy is, if it's plastic or if it's made out of metal or gold, what. No, it's the actual thing that it represents. It represents all the hard work, all the suffering, all the dedicated hours that you put towards reaching that goal. It's not the $25 plastic trophy. No, it's what it represents. You don't even need the trophy. You just won. You don't need anything. You know you won. It's in your head. And when you see someone, it's like, hey, I did that. You're proud of it. They're proud of it. And look, if you didn't win, it doesn't friggin' matter either. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. People just want to know that you had fun and had a good time. If your goal was to win first place and you got 5th place, yeah, it sucks. You wanted to win. But guess what? As long as you tried your best and did your best and looked your best, that's a win. It may not be the win that gives you the trophy, but you gave it your all. You know, not everyone can win. I can't win every time. In fact, I haven't won since 2012. It's been 8 years since I've won a competition. And have I given up? No. And will I ever win? Probably not. Am I stopping? Nope. I just like it that much. So find something that you like and keep going at it.
Are you hungry right now?
Yes, I'm starving.
So he's 6 days out, he's eating some fish, and they asked him, are you hungry?
He's eaten 6 meals a day, every day, since 2016 when he was prepping for the Nationals and he turned pro.
When you're that starving, you're not missing meals. Trust me, you're not. But really, in the real world, does he need to eat 6 meals? No. He could actually have 5 meals and spread the calories out differently, and it would be just as good. I'm not saying he's doing it wrong. Obviously, it's working. He knows what he's doing. But if you're a general human being in the world, you don't need to eat 6 meals a day. Even 4 meals a day would be fantastic. Spread your meals out. If you're gonna miss a meal, that's fine. Eat it when you think about it, or have a snack. It's not a make or break, life-changing decision to miss a meal. For this guy, even for this guy, it's not gonna make or break his life, but he's that dedicated. You're allowed to skip a meal. I don't want you to all think, oh, if you never skip a meal, you're gonna look the way you want. No. It's better to skip a meal every now and then and not worry about it and not have an anxiety attack over missing a meal. Have a snack when you remember, go to the meal the next time, maybe a little bit more in the next meal. Combine the 2 meals into one. It's okay. Even I do this, and I'm a professional bodybuilder. Obviously not at this level, but if I did exactly what George does, I wouldn't be as good as him either. There's genetics that plays into this. This guy has freakishly good genetics, or he's a cyborg from Terminator. So he's eating over 300 grams of protein a day. Does he need that? No. Is there something wrong with that? No. Protein's more filling, okay? If you eat a lot of protein, chances are you're not gonna eat other foods. You're gonna be able to put the fork down. It helps. It also has a high thermic effect of food. So that means a lot of the calories you consume are gonna be burnt off. Does that mean he's breaking the laws of thermodynamics? No, it just means some of the calories are being burnt off through the digestion process. The eating is important. You can go to the gym and train all you like, but if you're not in a calorie deficit, you won't get lean. You won't lose weight. You won't get ripped or shredded. You will not. All the smartest eating in the world doesn't matter. All the smartest training in the world doesn't matter if you don't combine the two and if you're not in a calorie deficit.
It's not a just about grams of protein and grams of carbs and grams of fat. It's a much deeper thing. And I think if a coach and an athlete have a strong bond like George and I have, it really helps.
It's a difficult process. Everyone is different. Some people like more fat, some people like more carbs, some people like more protein. Some people like 6 meals a day, some people like 3 meals a day. And there's morons who, they only like 1 meal a day or every other day. I know they don't know what they're doing, but whatever, that's okay. This video is for 99.9% of normal people. When you have a coach, they can figure out your body and know what works for you. If it's not working, the coach can make changes. If your diet is not working for you right now, which it probably isn't, make a change and buy my freaking cookbook. Buy it. You know you need it. Or hire me for coaching, obviously. Or hire George the Bull or his coach. Just hire somebody. You probably... And if you don't know how to train, buy my freaking training book. It's so good. When you get it, you'll be like, oh my goodness, who wrote this? Coach Greg can't write this. He spells everything wrong. Guess what? I'm smart enough to hire an editor. Yeah, they correct spelling and grammar mistakes. I'm smarter than I look, people. I know what I'm doing. So you know how people say they look flat? Oh, I'm flat in the gym. No, you're not flat. You just didn't have any muscle in the first place. You're dieting and you look flat because you don't have much muscle. George the Bull is depleted as freaking F-U-C-K. George the Bull is depleted as
Cook it.
man. George the Bull is depleted as
Cook it down.
he can hardly function. He's like, I'm just existing right now. He's depleted, has no energy, no carbs, he's depleted. They had to even cut out his cardio. He's so tired he can't even do cardio. He's that far gone. And look at him. Does that look like a guy who's depleted? Does that look like a stringy guy with no muscle? Or does he look like he freaking just swallowed muscle in his muscles? He looks ridiculous. He looks like he just carb loaded for 15 years with no body fat. He looks like a rock that's about to jump out of his muscle tissue. I can't even believe what it looks like he's looking like. I never looked like this before, and he's not even carved up. So when you have actual muscle, you're not gonna be like, ooh, I'm so flat. I don't have muscle, I'm fat. You are freaking fat, and you lost the fat, and now you're flat. You never had muscle in the first place. People with huge muscles, like George the Bull, they could be depleted for a week. He could not eat for a week. He could be lost on a stranded island, not eat for a week, and you'd see him and be like, who's that freakishly well pumped up man? That's just a fact of life. If you have enough muscles, you won't look flat. You're so worried about looking flat in your competition, you need more muscle in the first place. Because if you got muscles, even if you're dehydrated, you're not gonna look fat. And no, if you take a diuretic before your show, you don't blame the diuretic for looking like you have water retention and you're soft. Newsflash, diuretics don't make you hold water, they make you lose it. If anything, it'll make you look smaller and more ripped, but it's not making you look watery and flat. Need a coach for the Olympia? I can hook you up. I'm expensive, yeah, but I can do it for you. Although I'm not really trying to get the Olympia competitors because there's only about 10 of them. I'd rather coach the rest of the world. I mean, I can't believe what I'm looking at here. He's depleted, not pumped up, feeling like garbage and flexing, and I can't believe everything I'm seeing. His back in particular is absolutely ridiculous. Can you believe this guy?
Well, what pushes me is, the fact that I know that I've come this far. You came this far, so you can't stop now.
It reminds me of when I used to play Texas Hold'em. Put so many chips in, I'm pot committed. Heck, I'm going all in. Why am I gonna quit now? I've done it this far. I'm going all in. All or nothing. That's George the Bull. All or nothing. I'm going for the Olympia. All freaking in. I'm betting the house. And you might be able to bet the house that he's gonna win. He's that close at his first Olympia. I'm sure he wouldn't have thought a year ago, man, he's gonna go from classic physique to winning the Olympia next year. It could happen. He's that friggin' good. And if he doesn't win, he'll come back the year after and maybe win it then. This video by Muscle and Strength was really, really good, really top quality. I watched it and I was like, oh, I gotta do a video on this. The way it was put together, it's an excellent documentary, great work. If you're interested in being a bodybuilder, I highly suggest you watch the actual video from Muscle and Strength. Now remember, not everyone can be a bodybuilder, especially at this level. It's just too hard. But everyone can lift weights and eat healthy. Don't need to compete. If you don't know what to do, buy my training book and buy my cookbook. Training book's called Harder Than Last Time because that's how you should be training. And the eating cookbook, the anabolic cookbook. Anabolic to build freaking muscle, lots of protein. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IFBB Pro. Bloop it up over there. Videos, watch one of them, and until next time, I am out.